Last weekend, Hamas launched a devastating attack against Israel, killing innocent people, and that situation has led to, of course, massive retaliation by the Israeli government, death, destruction, all around the area. Innocent people on both sides are being killed, especially in Gaza, which has been completely cut off. No power, no food, the hospital system is failing. They're being bombed into oblivion. It's just an absolutely horrific humanitarian disaster for everyone involved. And what better way to use this horrible situation than to fearmonger about immigrants? At least that's what right-wing media is doing at this very moment. Several right-wing media figures have already basically warned of Hamas and other so-called sleeper cells lying in wait to attack America. Ah, yes, of course. Even when there's a conflict over in the Middle East, somehow they have to think, oh, America's next! And they're saying this. Now, it's important to note that similar claims arose after the September 11th terror attacks, which, again, actually did happen to America. But that led to questionable arrests and at least one failed prosecution. It also led to the illegal surveillance of innocent people, Muslims in New York City. Yes, the NYPD spied in on Muslim Americans over fears, oh, they're Muslim, they might be a sleeper cell. Again, no evidence, right? That said, this is something conservatives love to do. They love to talk about the idea of this sleeper cell in order to pit people against Muslim immigrants or immigrants in general. Even though, as I said, there's no evidence here to support any of this. But of course, as Mike Lindell loves to say,
just forget about the evidence.
Yeah, of course. So let's get into doing into people who are doing the fear mongering. Okay. So first we've got Charles Kirkington III, TPUSA. I'm kidding, Charlie Kirk. Here's what he had to say in first his October 9th broadcast and then the following day. Take a look.
But we also have a non-existent border. And just to also be very clear, the answer to the sleeper cell question is we don't know. We have no border. Hamas could send whoever they want. It's possible Hamas has hundreds or thousands of militants on the interior of the United States ready to bomb hospitals, blow up schools, or just rain terror. We do not have a border. Therefore, we do not have control of our country. Are there sleeper cells in the United States that are going to launch a terror attack on our big cities? 10 million people are on pace to cross our border. We don't know who these people are. Are there Hamas terrorists right now in Dallas, Chicago, New York? If they get their hands on a weapon or a dirty bomb? The debate really, and this is what's sad, we don't have a border and we haven't had a border for quite some time. The debate is not whether they are here or not. The debate is whether are there 5 sleeper cells, 50 or 500 sleeper cells in our country. And I am not an alarmist, but you better have a firearm when you leave home.
I mean, you know, sleeper cells. There could be sleeper cells here. We don't know if there are sleeper cells, but actually, there probably is sleeper cells. There's no debate on sleeper cells. In fact, you know, there might be sleeper cells. Dirty bomb, Chicago, Dallas, Detroit. Could happen. Sleepers, dirty bombs. But I'm not an alarmist. But you better grab your gun, though, to fight off the, you know, massive amounts of Hamas, Muslim, Islamic terrorists that are going to bomb your home and kill you, murder, rape your family. But I'm not an alarmist. I'm not an alarmist. Really? That's what they're doing right there. It's absurd. Absurd. But it gets worse. Okay? Moving on from Charlie Kirk. Laura Loomer on Twitter/X, whatever, she decided to boost former President Donald Trump's Truth Social post. I know I have to.
Truth essential.
Where he warned of Hamas operatives crossing the southern border, adding, Hamas has terror cells all over the USA. Really? Really? Where are they? Where are the terror cells? Now, of course, if you ask one of them, immediately they're going to say Dearborn, Michigan. They're going to say Minneapolis. Why would they say that? Well, they just happen to have a large Muslim population. You see? But wait a minute. Just because you're Muslim does not mean you're a member of a Hamas terrorist sleeper cell That's effing ridiculous. There's more. Conservative pundit Carmine Sabia claimed that the people in power know that Hamas has terror cells in the United States. Really? That arrived through the southern border. Oh, really? They also know their attacks will be attacks targeting our major cities. America's next. He also wrote that Joe Biden and his handlers are responsible for what is set to happen. Unhinged. Unhinged. And then, of course, you have outlet Leading Report, who posted this on X, Twitter. Breaking: Hamas allegedly has terror cells in the United States after entering the country via the southern border, creating a fear of terrorist attacks in big cities over the next 14 months. Yes. Funny enough, they made that up in order to create the fear of terrorist attacks in cities over the next 14 months. Just saying that. Just saying that. Then you have Jack Posobiec, who posted this. Wait till Hamas activates the sleeper cells that already came across our border. In a rant about the southern border and illegal alien invaders, former Trump strategist Steve Bannon said, "You see what's going on with what Hamas is doing in Israel. Just stand by for that to happen in the United States of America." What evidence do you have of this? Former Trump administration official Michael Caputo then tweeted his belief that when the U.S. steps in to assist our longtime ally Israel, tens of thousands of fighting-age Palestinians who crossed the U.S. border with Biden co-assistance will execute a long-planned and coordinated attack inside of America, and then called for people to be prepared. Again, no evidence, absolute lunacy. Right-wing outlet Gateway Pundit also wrote that the open border strategy, which is not real, means that Israel was just a prelim. The main event is coming to America and a city near you. Stay frosty, get armed, get ready. The battle for America begins soon. What? Oh, one of my favorites, actually, is from Wokeness. Yes. Who posted this? For all we know, there could be hundreds of sleeper cells already here and waiting to be activated. Now, the reason I like that is because there's a certain bit of irony having an account called Wokeness posting about sleeper cells or just sleep in general. Look, all of this is conspiracy nonsense, okay? Ginning up fear of something that is actually happening elsewhere in the world, but thinking that because it's happening there, it's going to happen here. And oh yeah, the president's in on it. I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but I am saying that there is a 0% chance that the President Joe Biden, is saying, hey, terrorist sleeper cells, come on in. We know you're going to attack, and thumbs up, go ahead. Just waiting for you to activate that signal. No, stupid. That is just beyond dumb.
Stupid.
Okay. Now, look, the truth is, there is a long and bloody history between the Israelis and Palestinians. There is of course, the brutal and illegal occupation of Gaza. There's mass unemployment in that area, which is essentially an open-air prison. You have the killings of journalists like Shireen Abu Akleh by the Israeli military, the IDF. And of course, you also have Hamas carrying out deadly missile attacks, kidnappings, murders, terror attacks like the one that we saw over the weekend. It's just, the situation is just absolutely horrifying. Innocent people on all sides are dying here. But the thing that I want to point out, though, is that none of that's happening in the United States or near it. Okay? And furthermore, why would any sleeper agent go through the southern border when they could just fly in? That never makes any sense to me. Like, they would actually get flagged more trying to go through the southern border than if they were to arrive here by plane. I'm just saying. Look, in 2021, Pew Research noted that immigrants from countries outside of Mexico and Central America actually accounted for almost 90% of the visa overstays. Those are the people who are undocumented. They came over here and then their documentation ran out and suddenly they're undocumented immigrants. Yes. Now, in 2017, there were more than 30 overstays for every border apprehension for these countries. Now, that said, as of recently, yes, there has been a spike in border apprehensions, people trying to cross. In fact, in 1 month, it was somewhere around 200,000 border apprehensions. So 200,000, still a lot. But you're Charlie Kirk saying, well, up to 10 million. What? No, 10 million. 200,000, again, a lot of people, but not 10 million. Okay, just vastly inflating the numbers here. And there's a reason that they do that, of course. But getting to the point, right? Apprehensions. You know what that means? It means they were apprehended. They were taken into custody at the border. They didn't successfully sneak in, which means we have a border, which means we have border patrol. What do you think border patrol is patrolling if there's no border? These people make absolutely no sense. We don't have a border in this country. Everybody's just pouring in. Oh, really? Explain how, again, we're stopping drugs at the border and we're stopping people at the border. In fact, there is a border crisis in the fact that we do not have enough resources to keep up with the amount of people that are being apprehended at the border. We need more border judges in order, immigration judges in order to, speed up our incredibly slow, really terrible, outdated immigration system. That's one of the main problems here. It takes so long and so much to get into the United States that the system is backed up. And then, of course, we do have asylum seekers, from things like our international drug war and all the disruptions in Central America and those countries that are dealing with massive poverty, drug gangs, drug war, all that stuff. Those are very real issues, but they're not talking about those issues in a way to solve them. They don't want to solve those issues. They want to build a dumb, stupid, useless wall. That's it. And the reason they want to do that, again, is to keep brown people out of the country because they hate them. That's what this is about. Hate them. Okay? But again, there's no evidence of people crossing the southern border being potential Muslim terrorists. In fact, it is far more likely, and you should be more afraid of, being the victim of right-wing terrorism than Islamic. Either, right-wing terrorism in the form of course, far-right anti-government extremists. That is the big danger. White supremacist terrorists. That's the bigger danger, far bigger danger than Muslim or left-wing. Okay? Look, this is just more be afraid, be afraid, be afraid. The scary Muslims are coming. We're now back in 2003, 2004, okay, or 2001. We're all the way back there. And, they're saying the same things. We got to shut down the border. We got to close the border. You got to buy a gun. You got to barricade your home. Most importantly, you got to vote for Republicans because we're the only ones that are going to keep you safe. No. But that's the message going forward. And for their voters, unfortunately, works. It's effective.